Does anything matter? Can you say or claim anything, even in a court of law? There is new heat on Trump and his lawyers today after that absolutely bananas claim, unlawful and dangerous, that a president should be able to kill American rivals and not be prosecuted unless there's some special process that's never occurred before. That was the claim, and we're seeing the fallout.
Trump's argument is some of the most breathtaking, aggressive public articulation of a vision of American dictatorship as we have ever seen.
This is somebody who is now running for office who is telling you exactly how they think they can commit criminal acts while in office.
I think they hurt their case tremendously today.
I think they made a strategic and legal mistake, Alex, by taking that absolutist position.
I believe that the D.C. Circuit Court is going to act swiftly on this, is going to knock down the immunity claims.
That last voice, a former Trump White House lawyer that we heard from last night. We're going to play for you this key exchange. I mentioned it last night in our coverage. It is one of the most brazen, dangerous, and autocratic claims by any lawyer for any politician or former president in the history of American law. Here it was.
Could a president who ordered SEAL Team 6 to assassinate a political rival who was not impeached, would he be subject to criminal prosecution?
If he were impeached and convicted first. And
so your answer is no.
Your answer is no. We look at the Navy SEALs, the sea, air, and land operations of our Pentagon. That's their crown jewel. And Trump's attorney basically hurt his case, among other things, because the judges looked very skeptical about all this. And this likely deals a blow to the former president, who was actually attending those arguments a few feet away from his prosecutor, Jack Smith. Now, this is very real because Trump is showing through his own remarks, actions, deeds, and his lawyers' arguments exactly what he thinks. You don't have a lawyer make an argument this extreme if it's not directly coming from the client. Indeed, the former Trump lawyer we heard from last night emphasized that this lawyer might not have made such a bad argument but for trying to match his client. That's the serious part. How does this play out in the country? Is everyone exhausted and over it? Well, we see in the culture sometimes that's where some people get their news. You're obviously watching this news, but in late night land, they were jumping on the absurdity of this reality that we live in.
If the president can order SEAL Team 6 to kill a political rival, Trump had better lock the doors at Mar-a-Lago because Bazooka Joe Biden has every reason to blow it to Kingdom Come.
Trump is in court so often he enrolled in pre-check so he can zip through security.
To recap, Trump's lawyers are arguing that the president, who is currently Joe Biden, could order SEAL Team 6 to assassinate his political rival, who is currently Donald Trump.
And on it goes. A different Trump attorney responded to some of this today.
The real facts are so easy to win that we have to now argue the slippery slope argument of if he kills someone, will he be held accountable? He didn't kill anyone. He didn't cause an insurrection. He didn't get charged for it. But they're using hypotheticals to frighten America.
That argument mostly runs the other way. If he didn't kill anyone, he doesn't plan to kill anyone, and he doesn't want potential immunity to kill Americans when elected, if elected, then why not just simply say that? We didn't, we don't, we wouldn't, and we don't need that license to kill. His lawyer said the opposite while he sat there and looked on. It's all happening out in the open. Now, that lawyer you just heard from on Fox, she did make one accurate reference. Donald Trump has not been charged under the insurrection statute, but he is charged for a lot of other things he did that Jack Smith says led to what you see on your screen and what we lived through. Now, tonight, we do expect to hear a lot more on this between this final debate before the Iowa caucus and whether Trump's Republican rivals want to weigh in at all on someone seizing autocratic rights or trying to in court. If you want to do the thought experiment of a Hillary Clinton or an Obama going anywhere near there through lawyers, would we hear about that? Well, everyone's got their eyes on the debate and the Trump town hall to see if that comes up as part of the programming and the counter-programming.